Things are getting crazy on this Bitcoin chart. They're getting dicey. We have a lot going on right now. Trump-Harris debate hours away as I do this video. That's going on. Tomorrow, CPI data, what to expect from tomorrow's inflation data. These things are actually pretty macro events. They absolutely play themselves onto the macro charts, the macro cycles of crypto and Bitcoin. But they really do kind of play into the short-term charts. I say short-term because we're obviously watching this bounce off of this lower trend line. But this entire setup, this is a long-term setup. This is 6-7 months in the making. Bitcoin, crypto, lower lows and lower highs. So I want to discuss, there's a really strong indicator on this chart, the Bitcoin daily, that I think will be a very useful guide for the short term as we go into these shorter term news events. So please hit the subscribe, hit the like. Let's jump into the video. I do want to talk about a couple different things, especially just the Trump-Harris debate and what's going on there as it applies to crypto. Before we dive into these charts, if you want to go right to the charts, feel free to hit the timestamps. But this is obviously the big news happening right now. I just saw this post breaking. Trump now leads the polls by 8% over Kamala Harris. Giga bullish for Bitcoin. It doesn't matter how you spin it. Trump is the pro-crypto person. He's the pro-crypto candidate. So the stronger lead that he gets, the more bullish this will be for crypto. That's just how it is. This was a recent video of Trump. Check this out.
3 million crypto holders, I say this with your vote. I will keep Elizabeth Warren and her goons away from your Bitcoin.
Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty bullish presidential candidate for crypto. I saw this. Bernstein calls it Bitcoin moonshot to 90,000 if Trump's back. This is the growing sentiment. Bernstein's got a wild one. Trump reelect equals Bitcoin to 90,000. Regulations? Nah. Think free market chaos and whales swimming in. And it would be an absolute game changer. And then I started thinking, you know what I mean? Besides some of these talking points, I started looking at this. Donald Trump has amassed over by the way, this is from June. Donald Trump has amassed over 1.1 million followers on TikTok in just 10 hours after he announced UFC 302. Saw this headline not long ago. Barron Trump works to secure the Gen Z vote in 2024 election. So you think TikTok, Gen Z. He launched his TikTok page. And look at him now. Almost 11 million followers on TikTok. Gen Z votes. Think crypto, everybody. Kamala, 5 million. So there's something happening there. And as we go into the debate tonight, there's a lot of crypto holders, 50 million of them in the US, that have their eyes on this. So this is going to play into the charts, Bitcoin charts. But as we keep that in mind, I want to keep this in mind. Surprisingly, and this is in regards to CPI data tomorrow, surprisingly, weak reading would bolster the case for the Fed to move faster in easing policy, while stronger than expected report would encourage a more measured approach to cuts. We don't know exactly what's going to happen tomorrow. And at the end of the day, yeah, there's the debates going on tonight. People go to bed, they wake up to this brand new event. This will be at the top of everybody's mind, and what traditional markets do, what markets do tomorrow will likely have a huge impact on what Bitcoin does. So I say that because it's kind of like, don't want to get faked out here. But now pivoting to the charts and Bitcoin price, and really this applies to crypto momentum as well. So even if you're just an altcoin holder, this is a good chart for everybody. So we know the setup. We've been talking about it, tracking it. We got this bounce off of the lower trend line. We even have the bullish divergence on the RSI right here. You just check that nice higher low on Bitcoin price or Bitcoin momentum. And then we had a very similar type of move here. This higher low right here before the move to the upside. So we're very strongly anticipating a move to the upside. But I wanted to get more hints in terms of, well, what should we really be prepared for? We've talked about the resistance, those moving averages that you see on the screen right now. I keep saying nothing as it relates to this chart matters other than Bitcoin getting above those moving averages. At the very least, test those moving averages. The 20-day, 59, the 50-day right around 60, and the 200-day right around 63, just under 64. Then I saw this indicator. This is the MACD, another momentum oscillator that we track, and I started I wanted to try and bring things together to get a sense of what a fake out could look like or what bullish confirmation could look like. So the last time, and the reason I did this is because I saw this MACD line just making a nice move towards the upside, getting very close to breaking through and above the signal line. You see the histogram approaching 0. So we might see this in green, similar to all these momentum swings previously. So I looked at the last MACD crossing the signal line back here, and this was basically, mid-August, right? It was not that long ago. And I opened up the chart, and what do you know? Bitcoin was making its move through some of those moving averages, ultimately failing to even get to the upper trend line. But the thing to notice here as we start looking back on this MACD move is it made the test to the moving averages. Now we go back here we get again in like July, there was a MACD, and this was another move through the moving averages. Hit the upper trend line, failed to break out, right? So each time we're getting this MACD, we're testing at the very least the moving averages. Then I saw this one, and this is I think important for the current move that we're in, especially with the headlines, especially everybody. If when we start thinking about the CPI data news and everything happening tomorrow, if markets fall, look at what happened when basically, end of June, you see this MACD starting to approach into July, the signal line. Similar to right now, it's looking like, man, we're about to get a momentum shift to the upside, kind of a fake out. And what was happening on the daily chart, I think, is important here in this context. What was happening was resistance here at the 20-day. The chart looks very similar, meaning we're approaching the 20-day. Our MACD is approaching, the MACD line is approaching the red line, the signal line. We're getting close. Very similar setup there in that regard. And that's why I'm saying if markets fall tomorrow, this could be kind of this next leg down. I have to anticipate this because we have no idea, and this happens time and time again over the years, tracking crypto. We have no idea how an event like this will move markets. And it's so odd too, watching it. Like pre-market, it might look like it's going bullish, and then all of a sudden it starts falling. And then after whatever the news comes out, the CPI data comes out, it looks bullish for like 20 minutes, and then it just crashes. Like it's going to be volatile. And that's why I'm looking at these indicators. I'm saying, okay, you know what? Either way, we wait for confirmations. So in that regard, maybe it is a crazy bullish day. Well, again, what happens at the moving averages? Because ultimately what we're looking for is, we want the MACD to cross the signal line. We want to see that upper momentum. But really, if we even look previously at these upper momentum swings, these previous ones, it didn't lead to the breakout we all want. You have to kind of zoom out on this daily chart to kind of get a sense of what that looks like. And I kind of did. Not long ago, when it comes to the MACD, because look, there's not that many times when it's below zero on the histogram that the MACD is crossing the red signal line, right? So last time, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times ago. 5 times ago, which was August last year, believe it or not, that's the move I think everybody wants. But it really does start with a short-term MACD line crossing the signal line, and then boom, 78% move to the upside, some consolidation. And then check this one out. Another MACD, the MACD turning on the momentum oscillator. And then what happened next? Another 70% move to the upside. So we're looking at from this MACD back here, total, if we really measure that entire move to the upside, almost 200% gain for Bitcoin. So the MACD line, the MACD indicator on the daily is actually really helpful for short-term and macro. But the macro, it really takes a little time to get there. Things have to happen first, and that is to say, Bitcoin needs to break these moving averages. But you can see how it could go one way or the other in the shorter term. And I think right now we can use an instance like this red one here where it actually didn't happen right there. We went one more leg down before it happened. We can use this instance as just a caution, a warning indicator that, we're getting a momentum swing. The histogram's looking really good, but guess what? Right here it was looking really good. And what happened? One more leg down. Right here it's looking good. Could be one more leg down. Not saying there will be, something I want to be careful for. And again, to the upside, I'm not going to talk about any bullish breakout, anything bullish, crazy bullish until we get bullish confirmations above the moving averages, which we don't have yet. So a lot going on right now with tonight's debate, tomorrow's CPI. We'll see what happens. We'll track it. Please hit the subscribe, turn notifications on. We'll give an update as these things progress. And if you enjoyed this video, please, everybody, hit the subscribe, like, and I'll see you all in the next video. God bless.